It's just too bad that every hardware and software synthesizer is actually outperformed by the Casio MT-68. When I made my review of the Synthstrom Deluge, I cut in snippets of me saying the Casio MT-68 was the greatest hardware device ever created. And I'm not going to backtrack that statement necessarily, but I wanted to discuss it, and I figure the best place to start with a discussion of the Casio MT-68 is a new segment we're only going to do once called, What's a Casio MT-68? It's this. The MT-68 is what many people, myself included, would probably call a toy keyboard. Let's make a quick note here. Musicians play their instruments, not the other way around. And when I call the MT-68 a toy keyboard, I don't mean that as an insult, more as a category. Being a toy keyboard doesn't disqualify the MT-68 from also being awesome. It launched in the same year as the Yamaha DX7, which was only one of the most iconic synthesizers ever made. And my reasoning for calling the MT-68 a toy keyboard is that while the DX7 was targeted towards serious musicians who were typically adults, the MT-68 was aimed at kids, a demographic which is notable for typically not being adults. The other toy keyboard aspect of the MT-68 is its lack of major sound shaping settings, though you do have some tools at your disposal. The keyboard has a built-in sustain, versus just cutting off, and a built-in reverb. And you can also use these buttons in the modulation section to change the attack of the sound. So instead of, you could get, or. So with those, it's actually pretty easy to turn something like this electric piano sound into something that sounds kind of like a lo-fi pad. So I'm going to turn on the vibrato, the sustain, I'm going to have it come in slowly with the attack, and that leads into the sounds on this keyboard. Now, I wouldn't say that they sound realistic, but I do think that most of them sound nice in their own way and have a fun character that makes them all distinct. Like this flute. Or this one, which is called Cosmic Tone. The only patch here that I'm not really a big fan of is the mandolin. That's not what a mandolin sounds like. Wait, but by and large, the MT-68 sounds great, and while the keyboard isn't amazing, it does feel responsive enough for playing quickly. And having 4 octaves and 8 voices of polyphony gives you just enough room for a little bit of ragtime. The MT-68 can also play drums for you, and if you're in the mood for a bop, this bossa nova beat will fit the bill. Now you may have noticed these sliders that say bass, chord, and arpeggio, so you do have the option to play accompaniment while playing the drums. So if I start these drums going, and I turn the bass on, and I set the Casio chord mode to on, when I hit this C, you'll hear some accompaniment come in. And if I want, I can change the style of the bass or of the chord. And then the last thing you can add if you want is some arpeggiation. To me, the value and quality of a piece of gear is measured by how well it inspires and expedites creation. Now, I've said in previous videos that it's most important to make music in the way that you find fulfilling, and for me, one of the most fulfilling ways to make music is to use that old keyboard. Quality is subjective, and what might seem bad to me could be great to someone else, and vice versa. For me, the Casio MT-68 is a far more inspiring device than its unassuming appearance might lead you to believe. Now, before we close off, I wanted to share the best advice I can for buying these old keyboards. Shop local. It's often a seller's market, when you're looking on a site like Reverb or eBay, generally you're better off finding a good deal in a local classified Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, that kind of thing. Now, results might vary depending on where you live, but my experience generally has just been the best deals are going to be found around you, not online. Anyway, we'll close off with a short silly tune I made with the Casio. I didn't add any external effects, though I did do some mixing in Audacity, but before signing off, I wanted to thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks again, and music. Some find joy in acts of artistic creation. Some find joy in working to better their nation. Some folks smile at the act of writing a story. But for me, I need more. You see, the only thing that makes me glad, drives the folks around me mad, is running up and down the halls at 3 in the morning. That's where I'm at, because I'm a cat. Don't bring home a dog, I'm not looking for friends. If you do, I'll puke on the carpet for revenge. Just build me a cat tree so I can climb up high. Don't you dare try to pet me on the days that end with Y. The only thing that makes me glad, drives the folks around me mad, is running up and down the halls at 3 in the morning. That's where I'm at, because I'm a cat. The only thing that brings me joy is shredding the curtains. That's where I'm at, because I'm a cat.